Why do I always forget what I'm doing?
Wave your hands.
Yes. Hello, everyone. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, face, card making space, live, unscripted, unfiltered, pure chaos incarnate. And yeah, we're gonna make some cards today. A card, maybe a couple cards. We'll see. The unpaid intern is in the corner.
Yo.
He's gonna help moderate. And who might be joining me? Is it gonna be... Oh yeah, Mitzi from Altenew might be joining us as well. We shall see, because as usual, I forgot to send her the link before I went live. Again, y'all, I'm a professional. I am a professional. But hello to everybody. And yeah, everything seems to be working. Yep. So, speaking of Altenew, this is going to be an Altenew Live, which means I have a code to share with y'all, and this is a good one. I just have to find it. Okay, here we go. This is what I've got. Heck yeah. So the link and all the info is in the description box below the video. And from now until 2 days from now, I think, till the 17th, you can get Altenew's Instant Dimension Foam Tape Bundle for 45% off. Hello. With my exclusive code, AmyLive7. You know? So, love it. Absolutely love it. Love this stuff. I'll show it in a second. I'm not even 100% certain if I'm going to use foam tape. I might use some. We'll see. But if I don't use it today, I'm going to use it tomorrow or the next day or whatever. I use their foam tape all the time. So that is the exclusive live code. So totally appreciate Altenew for offering that one up for me. And then the other one that ends tonight is, there we go, the Secret Garden Retreat. I've got the link below for that as well. And the code that'll get you the little early bird discount. This one ends tonight, like this early bird discount. Now with Altenew, you cannot use more than one code. That's standard. But something like this retreat, I would put separate anyway, totally separate purchase, because it's for the retreat. There's a kit, all of it's explained with the listing, yada yada, and I'm one of the teachers. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So yeah, that's super exciting. And this Secret Garden one, this little code ends today. So last day for our little early birds. And that's all I've got for the housekeeping. Yeah, that's it for the housekeeping. So yeah, hello to everybody. And yay, those that have signed up, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. I did my first retreat with Altenew. I taught at a year and a half ago now. Yeah, I did the Cozy Comfort Retreat in 2024. Yeah. So I did that one. And then they invited me back for the Secret Garden Retreat this year, which is in May, and all the info's there. And we got to give input with this one. And I had a say in one of the products, and I'm happy. And I just I got my hands on it so I can start planning and preparing and all the things for my class. And I'm excited. I am so excited. So can you tell us more about the Secret Garden? Oh yeah, all the info is in the listing that I've linked below the video. And there's multiple classes that are exclusive to the retreat. It's all done. I think it's all done on Zoom. It was done on Zoom last time I taught it. I assume it's going to be done this way as well. They'll save it all too for those that can't attend the live classes. There will be, and then there's handouts and tons of inspiration. Oh, that was the other thing. I will be going live. Is that this Friday? I don't even remember what date it is. I think it's Friday. It's already up on the Altenew channel. That was the other housekeeping. I will be live. Yeah, Friday. Friday on the Altenew channel. I may be able to restream it to mine. I'm not sure yet. Haven't looked into it. Totally forgot. But I'm going live on Friday for the Secret Garden Retreat. I'm not sure yet if it's just going to be like interview style or if we're actually creating stuff. I got to double check with that. And because last time it was more just like interview, but we might be making too. I'm not sure. There's a lot. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. So, yeah, I'm very excited. And that was my first retreat, first time seeing you. I've been a fan ever since. I love it. I love it. I was so nervous. I'll be nervous with this one too. It's a different vibe. Doing stuff like that for me, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Everyone's really awesome. It's a different thing when I have like my screen and I can see, because it's on Zoom, people can have their cameras on, I can see everyone, and it just, they'll have to talk me off the ledge again, I'm sure, before I start with the next one, but it's still really fun. Question. Trying to use new shading brushes as well as ink pads. Seems like the ink pads are dry. I use the brush on them and then go to my cardstock. Very little ink comes off. Not sure if it's because of the brushes. They're sucking up a lot of ink before they're transferring to paper. Any thoughts? It could be either or. It would depend on the brushes, like what brand they are. I use many brands of blending brushes, and all the ones I've shown and promoted, I've never had that problem. I have tried some other blending brushes that were doing what you're describing, where I could not get like payoff, and it felt like the brush was just absorbing all the ink. And the brush, the level of frustration. And I remember, you remember that? Remember those brushes? And I pulled you in here to show you because I thought I was losing my mind. And I'm like, look at this. And I was like taking the brush into the ink pad and like, I was like, am I crazy? And tried it out a million times. And they were garbage brushes. And I chucked them. And I wouldn't promote them and I won't name the brand. And I've never shown them. I never would. So it could be that. Sometimes ink pads do get dry, but there are some brushes that just absorb ink. So yeah, hopefully that sort of helps. Hoping you'll be able to also post to your channel. Yeah, the live on Friday, I might be able to. I'm just not sure yet. There are usually ways for me to multi-stream. It is on the Altenew YouTube channel. Like, it's already set up. You'll see it. My face is on there, you know. But yeah, sometimes if I have this stuff set up ahead of time, I can stream to both. But at the bare minimum, I'll be live on the Altenew YouTube channel on Friday. So, yeah. Brushes come coated in something. Not the blending brushes. You don't need to rinse blending brushes. Never. I've never once rinsed or had to do any sort of prep with any of the blending brushes that I use. Ever. Never had an issue with that. It's different with, I showed in a recent video, like these watercolor brushes, these Altenew ones that came out in their February release. That's different. A lot of these style brushes, they dip them into a solution that keeps the bristles like firm so that they don't get damaged in transit, etc. And that you have to rinse off. I showed that in the video. Like, you just rinse them under water, works easiest, and you can feel it like come off, and then they're good to go. But blending brushes, and I keep pointing because my blending brush is over there. Blending brushes, they have no coating, nothing added to them. They're just like fresh. These are cheapy ones. Yeah, that might be it. Like some brushes that people attempt to use for blending just don't actually transfer. They just, whatever the bristles are made of or something, and they just like suck up all the ink, and then you just can't get it on the paper and then, yeah, like, you know, um, yeah. So there's my little treatsy on that. What time on Friday? Oh, the Friday live on the Altenew channel. It'll say, and you can like get notified and stuff. I think it's noon Eastern is when we start. That's what I have written down. Pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be. I'll know more. I'll know more in a couple days. Okay, so I have a mess in front of me. Big surprise. Let me move a couple things around so I can actually make sense of and show y'all what I'm planning on doing today. You know. Okay. Let me move this. Oh no, I'm gonna need those. So let me keep these over here. And then can it also be the cardstock in some cases? I mean, not in the way you're thinking. Some cardstocks don't take ink in the same way. And what I mean by that is you can be blending onto it and it just looks like hot garbage. Because some cardstocks, like, and I don't say this in a way to be like, oh, elitist, like, you're not a true card maker unless you're using the expensive branded cardstock. There is a difference. Some really cheap cardstocks, however they're made, because I've done it. I've tried ink blending on them, and they take ink weird. They'll still the brush will still deposit the ink. It'll just be really patchy looking. And with the inks we have now, it generally isn't like that. Like most time I use like Nina cardstock, Simon Smooth cardstock, etc. Most cardstocks are decent, but every once in a while, you might grab the wrong style or some, whatever you found on clearance. You know what I mean, and you go to blend on it, and it's just like, so it can happen. It can happen, but generally, a lot of times, though, if your blend isn't looking too hot, depending on the inks you're using, just let it fully dry and then take another look at it. Because sometimes, and I talk about that in my videos, I'll be like, this blend looks like hot garbage, but we let it dry, it smooths out, looks all fabulous. There's all kinds of differences. But yeah, when it comes to blending brushes, I use many brands from many different companies, and I haven't had a problem, and many different types of ink, many different types of cardstocks. You don't need all the brands, all the like 5 million blending brushes, all that kind of stuff. I do this as a job. Plus, I'm always curious and testing things out. Okay. Let's see the mess I've made. Okay, I have that. I have this. I have this. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use this. I want to explain the random thought process in my noggin. Okay, that's separate. So, what I'm planning on, speaking of blending brushes, we're gonna use blending brushes today. I got this. Yeah, that's separate. Okay, let's explain the thought process in my head and switch the camera down and actually get to making stuff, which I need to zoom out a bit. My issues with cardstock is sometimes with fine detail dyes, the cardstock separates. That would depend on the cardstock. It's very rare that has happened to me. Yeah. Very, very rare. Like, usually the only time I've ever had it separated is if I die cut something super finely detailed, it's a super heavyweight cardstock, and I've been too rough with trying to, like, pop the cardstock out of the die because, sometimes it'll, like, really get pressed in there. And if I'm moving too quickly, it can happen, but it's almost never. Almost never. Okay, there we go. So, this is my main thing today. I'm going to use the Craft Your Life Project Kit, the Frozen Moments, which, if we're not familiar with the Craft Your Life kits from Altenew, they come as like a whole package of items. And there is a subscription option, like people can subscribe, get them a little early. I think you get a discount, obviously, or you can just purchase it, which this was part of the February release. And it's got the stamp set, the Frozen Moments stamp set. There is this gorgeous layering stencil set, which does it match with the stamps? It's more of like a standalone as far as I'm looking. I'm not 100% sure if I'm even going to use this today, but it's pretty. It is very pretty, and it creates like these like pretty little floral clusters, which will work with the other stuff. And then there's the die set, which I think I already lost the packaging for the die set. I had it here somewhere. I don't know where it went, but the die set is the frames. I think I threw the packaging behind me, but it's the frames and then the embossing folder. And I already did a video when the release went live. I did a video using these frames with one of the other stamp sets in the release, and love. So we're going to use the frames again. This time I'm also going to use the stamp set. But what I did before we went live was I die cut the frames from matte gold cardstock or brush gold cardstock, which is Altenew's brush gold. Very, very beautiful. Trying not to put too many shiny things on camera because it reflects into the lens and then my lighting goes weird. So I die cut the frames from that cardstock and then I taped them into this embossing folder. And then I ran this through with these in place. And I forgot to like link to the tape, but whatever. It's just easy see, like low tack tape. And with Altenew's folders, yes, there we go. That is the sandwich with the Anna Griffin Empress machine and Altenew's folders. One cutting plate, the magnet plate, and the folder. This time I did add the metal shim to this as well, just heads up, to get it pressed as much as possible. And that's how I ended up with these. And that's the detail you get. And is it not just... Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how good the detail is. So, really simple. Just die cut and emboss. So I did all the frames this time because why not? Because when I was die cutting, like last time I used them, the like center areas, because I've talked about this with specialty cardstock, I keep all that. I stick it back in the packaging because I'll use it for other things. But this time when I was die cutting, I die cut the smaller frames from the inside because I was like, why not? Why not? They're beautiful. They're beautiful. So I'm just going to carefully, even though this is any low tack tape, I always am extra careful when I remove it after it's been run through like an embossing folder, dyes, etc. because the pressure can sometimes mess around. So yeah, all that detail, isn't that cool? Love it. I love it. I wish it was this easy to make frames in real life.
Right.
Not like I'm ever gonna... He and I had a whole discussion on this about like custom framing and all this stuff. And he's like, well, you could learn how to do it. And I'm like, well, I don't have the time or the space, you know? But yeah, all that detail. I love it. Oh, it's a retreat virtual class. It's virtual. The retreat, Altenew's Secret Garden and Cozy Comfort retreats are virtual. It comes with a whole kit of products and then all the classes. And then there's, like I was saying earlier, there's the live streams and stuff we do ahead of time that are public and just for fun. And then the actual retreat on those days. And they've got it separated into you know, chunks of time per instructor, and there's handouts and giveaways, and it's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I should show that one. Like, oh, that's beautiful. I love it. So, I have those. And then what I want to do is, okay, let me take this out of here. I need to like make some space on my desk. So I got this and this for the moment. Oh, there's that die packaging. Found it. It was right beside me. Okay. So I also need some cardstock. That would help, you know, to make your card. Have some cardstock ready. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? So let's just quickly do that. Yep. Yo, welcome to my super professionalness, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know anymore. Also, I'm like all over the place here. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to cut a couple of A2 size panels because I am going to go a little more my version of clean and simple. You know. So I think I'll be able to do 2 cards today for this live. Because why not? Why not? Because they're both kind of the same. Will I be able to do a third? I mean, let's try it. Let's try it. I've got a lot of the elements sort of prepared, sort of. There's always a caveat. Okay, so we got some A2 panels, 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Let me put that with the rest of just Nina, Closet Crest, Solar White, etc. So, my plan is to, and this will give you an idea too, the size of the largest frames, like each, so 4 1/4, 5.5. There's the largest frame, because if you didn't watch my video, the earlier one, you want to link to that in the chat. Look at my videos. Scroll the yeah, with the frames. It's got like the Altenew, second row, purple background. That one. Yeah. So if you didn't see that video, I made A2 size cards. Sorry, brain stop. So that'll give you an idea like the size of the largest ones. You know, they're a decent size. And then the smaller frames, I got those 2, and then I was planning on maybe going like that probably. Because then I have a sentiment I'm gonna use. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Okay. So I want to do that. And then the point of the stamp set with this is you can like stamp this and then it framed, you know. So you could create a lot of fairly clean and simple cards, or just a lot of cards without it being super time consuming, a lot of layers, because it's like you could just stamp these images, you know, right onto your card fronts, really, and then add a frame, and it's beautiful, you know. I'm gonna do that, but I wanted a little more to this. So what I plan on doing, and again, this is, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, y'all. We're gonna see if this actually works, because you know Amy be a little crazy, and I didn't plan because I got distracted doing 5,000 other things, and I didn't test this. So we're gonna test it out live. So what I'm gonna do is I want to stencil around this to create just some extra texture, interest, but I don't want any stenciling where my main image is going to be. So easiest way to do that would be to create some masks. So I've got some masking paper here, and I linked to Altenew's masking paper. For some, I don't have Altenew's masking paper. I don't know what I was thinking. I like their masking paper, because I like their like adhesive sheets and all of it. Plus, their masking paper has pretty pattern and stuff on it, so it just makes it easier to use. Anyway, masking paper. And I'm just taking the dies themselves to give me a visual. And I'm just gonna, I think the easiest way to do this, yeah. If I trace the inner perimeter, and then as long as I cut along, yep, this will work. This is gonna work. This will make sense in a second. So I take my die, trace around the innards, and then I can do the same thing with these smaller ones. Just making sure I have enough leeway around it. You can use anything. I'm just using a pencil. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that. And that. Okay. So there I've got my little like templates. And then all I got to do is fussy cut these. And this doesn't need to be anything special. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not actually fussy cutting. There we go. That's the pile of stuff I'll deal with later. All I want to do is cut just slightly outside the line because I want it to be masked past the inside of the frame. You can see that's where in fact, here we go. This will give me even a better visual. Take the actual die cut. As long as you're using a pencil, I wouldn't use a marker for this because I wouldn't want to get marker like on the actual cardstock. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So let's do that. That will make a better visual. There we go. Because there's always that little extra border with the wafer die itself. So as long as, there we go. And then same thing. Just trace where the edge of that opening is. And they create really pretty frames. Okay, so that'll be that one. Okay. And we'll do the same thing with these ones. So like that. And none of this really, like all these marks on the masking paper, it doesn't matter. Because this is just going to be used to mask. And this is also why I use a pencil. Because if I'd used a marker, I would have just got like marker all over that die cut. So we'll take this one. There we go. Much better. There we go. Now we trim them out. Just a smidge bigger than that perimeter. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Do that. Gotten so spoiled and hardly fussy cutting. Oh, same. If I've got coordinating wafer die, I'm not gonna fussy cut nothing. However, something like this isn't. I don't really like. I'm saying it's fussy cutting, but it's not really. You know, because yeah, this is just gonna be. This is a tool. This is not gonna be like on the finished card, and it will make sense once I actually do it. So I just still cut outside those perimeters. So I've got like, ignore the inside line, that outside line, I'm still cutting even outside that, just so that that area inside the frame will be masked off. This will hopefully make sense. Hopefully I'm making sense. You never know. There we go. Doop, doop, doop. But yes, I don't fussy cut much at all anymore. Because we don't have to. We have coordinating wafer dies for everything. And it's so nice. And I love it so much. Because also, the older I get, the worse my eyesight gets. And my hands, everything gets sore. And it's just like, no, no thank you. I can't believe we used to fussy cut absolutely everything. You know, back in the olden days when we made cards and had to walk both ways uphill in the snow. without winter gear. And having to fuss cut every single image because we didn't have coordinating wafer dyes for anything. Okay. You could die cut the frames and have the middle. You could die cut. I thought about doing that. You could just die cut the frames from the masking paper and then, take the innards within reason. However, the reason why I'm doing it a little bit extra is because when you die cut the frames, it's more obvious. When you die cut the frames, it's just a flat frame. Just is. But then when you run it through with all the embossing, it changes the size just a bit. The innard, not so much, but it can change because things are getting pressed up and down. So, yeah, like either in the end, they're kind of about the same amount of time. Because this didn't take long. It would have been faster if I hadn't done the first tracing of this. Because, yeah, there's the cut line and then there is like a border. So I should have just traced the die cut. Either way, really, will work though. So if you just don't want to cut it all, you just don't want to use scissors, you could just die cut and this should be fine. But okay, so now we have our little mask. My frame, I'm getting schmutz on me. This side's clean. I don't know what that was. Okay, frame, he will go in the center. Mask, got to peel off that layer to expose the low tack a little bit. There we go. And he's gonna go like, in fact, it'll be easier if I just do it like this so I can see what I'm doing. And again, it doesn't need to be like perfect because are we gonna add splatter? Of course we are. So we do that. Yep, that'll work. So that's masked. So then anything I add now will go on this and nothing is going to go through there because I want to keep that area for the stamping. And so then we just do the same thing on these ones. So I got this piece and this mask and schmutz. Where did the schmutz come? Oh, it might have come from that pencil. I don't know where the schmutz is coming from.
I think it's just what we're made out of.
Probably. If it's not one thing, it's another. Okay. Okay. And then, those frame bags with embossed colors are my favorite part. Hopefully we can get just those. Yeah, I'm not sure. I wouldn't know. I don't think Altenew ever releases the items that are in the Craft Your Life kits like separately. I may be wrong though. Like they maybe have in the past and I'm just not aware of it. Cause yeah. There's quite a few really cool items that they have released. Yeah, that should be good. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. In the kits that people don't even half the time, I don't even realize sometimes it's just like, oh, that's a really cool stencil set, die set, whatever. But honestly, like for what you get in there, the stamp set, the embossing folder, this, that, the other thing, they're so good. They're so good. Okay. So we got those two masked off. And then this one, we'll do like that. Like that. Yeah, that'll work. So that one goes with this. Yep. So we're gonna. Hello, Jessica. Just gotta peel off. There is a like on all of these sort of masking paper sheets. There is a like break line, I guess. I don't know what you call it on the back of the release paper. But when you trim it out, sometimes obviously it's not there. But these do peel off fairly easily. So then I just do that just to give me that visual. And I'll put them right about there. Looks good. Yep. And then we do it. There we go. Maybe they could come out with a separate frame set similar to the one. Yeah, you know, things like this, if people are really loving it and would like to see more of whatever from whatever brand, contact them and say, hey, I would love to see XYZ. Because all these little crafty brands, they listen, and they take everybody's feedback, and it's not an instant thing. Sometimes it can take months. Well, it does. It takes months, sometimes even longer to like design product, get it to release, yada yada yada. But they do listen, and yeah, I'd be here for more frames. I don't know. I never thought I would have so much fun with these, but I do. There is another little frame set, but it is in another Craft Your Life project kit. I used it last year. It was from the November. It was October. It was in the fall, and it was the one with like the mid-century modern furniture. I think it was that one. It had frames, and I had so much fun with that one. But yeah, that was another kit, and it was fun. I did a whole video and made no, it wasn't the mid-century. Mid-century modern was the one I did like holiday cards with. It was the Craft Your Life project kit, and it had like crafting themed scenes, 2 crafting themed scenes, and then the frames. And it was just so much fun. Okay. So there. We've got that, which looks very like okay. But then we're gonna add pattern, because I was thinking like pattern paper or wallpaper. Bear with me. I need a grip mat. Okay. I need a grip mat for my background. So I got a grip mat like so. And then blending brushes. Those 2 that I want. Yeah, those should work. Couple blending brushes. And then have to do a video with the new sun. Oh, we have to check the mail.
Okay.
I don't have it yet, Allison, but it should. I'm hoping it might even be in my mailbox, but sometimes the kits take longer to get me. Oh, Watercolor Plaid stencil set. This came out last month before, something. It came out in the recent past. And it's just a 2 stencil set. And I just thought it would make a cute background. And it made me think of like wallpaper. So we're gonna use that. And I was in a blue mood, so we'll use Caribbean Sky ink to start off with here. And I'm just using their small blending brushes. And we're just gonna start blending. And with stencils like this that are when it's like long sections, or if there's like open areas, but especially things like stripes, because each stripe's connected at one end, whether it's vertical or horizontal, it doesn't matter. So there's no other connections, because other patterns of stencils, there's more connecting bits, and I can just go in there and slap an ink. But when it's long open pieces like this, they can wiggle. Not a lot with these ones, because the stripes are wide and there's a good connection point, but they can still wiggle a bit. So I just blend in the direction of the stencil. It's just easier. Like, I don't bother with ones like this. I don't feel like there's a need to use any sort of adhesive like a pixie spray, etc. I only bother with that stuff when it's the type of stencil that's super delicate. Like if these were very thin little bits of stencil, or just a really delicate pattern, you know, with little bits, that, yeah, that's the only time I'll like bother. But the rest of the time it's like stick it to a grip mat, I just blend in the direction. And just like I was saying at the beginning, you want to get the door.
Yeah.
These inks blend great. I am not aiming for like a perfect blend, because again, we're going to add some splatter, the frames, there's going to be a bit of stamping. These inks do smooth out as they dry. And then this is Nina cardstock. Sorry, my brain stopped again. My brain stopped. So there's layer one. And since I've got the ink on this stencil and, you know, all this, I'll just do each card front, boop, while I'm at it, you know, while it's here. B. Stevens on the Crafty Life. Yeah, we were already, I already discussed that a few minutes ago. With the Craft Your Life project kits, as far as I'm aware, they are not. But I could be wrong. I'm not 100% certain. But for at least the length of time I've been paying attention, I don't think they release the items separately. Again, though, I may be wrong on that front. So, I love my pixie spray. Trying to keep the stencils in place. Oh yeah, like the pixie spray definitely can work, but I just find that I just have made a habit of whether, and it doesn't matter whether you're using a blending brush or a foam or just whatever. So if I was applying paste, I would apply it in the direction of the stencil just to keep things more easy. But you could give it a quick spray with the pixie spray. I'm just lazy. Let's be honest. I'm just too lazy to do it. That's it. That's it. So, I'm gonna blend on this. There we go. Doop. And I'm like getting ink all over me. Are we surprised? We shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. And there's the second panel. Again, everything looks a little like, there we go. And then where's my third one? There he is. So then this guy, stick him down, and then, not that it really matters, put him right side up, and then stick you to my grip mat. Good enough. Good enough. Honestly, if I manage to get all three done during this live, that's just a bonus. So we'll just see. I know, Korean Sky is such a pretty color. I've talked about this a lot for whatever reason. Like, I love blue. I've always loved, like, blue's a beautiful color. I don't reach for it very often. Like, or at least I didn't used to. For years. It's just, I just didn't. Anytime I would want, like, if I was doing something with like a sky background, whatever, I would use more of like an aqua shade than actually blue. But blues are pretty. So I just, for whatever reason, I have to like make a like concerted effort to actually like use it. I don't know why. It's weird. Okay. So that was the first stencil. Like that. And then second stencil, he just lines up. And you can also, of course, you can like create plaids, all of it. I'm not going to do that. How do I want to do this? I think just like this. I'm going to let them layer like that. It's a fun thing with like stencils like this, just your basic stripes. These are obviously not just straight stripes, like they are purposely uneven, which is fun. So there we go. Now I'm going to use Tide Blue, which is just a little bit. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. She's on the website now looking at subscribing. It specifically says the items in the kit will not be sold separately. So thank you for confirming that. Now we know that the Craft Your Life items are only part of the kit. That said, for those not willing to, or just, you know, they don't want to, whether it's subscribing or just like a bigger purchase, because it is a bigger bundle, again, they do come out with like such variety. And things like the frames, you can 100% request. And you never know, down the road, they might release more as like an individual set. That would be cool. Okay. Doop. Let's do that. Like that. There we go. And then let's just see. It's gonna look like a hot mess. Let's, you know, it's gonna look like a hot mess until all is said and done. Do I want to shift this one? Ooh, that could be fun. Let's do it. Why not? Why not? I can do what I want. Okay. Shifted the first stencil over. I just need to use a little bit of masking because otherwise I will go right over that. Let's see how this looks. Like I said, this one's considered like a full-on bonus anyway, this card front. Because I was only planning on doing the 2 cards for today's live. So let's just see. Let's just see how I feel about it. And I'm skipping the narrow strips on this one too while I'm at it. Let's just see what I think. Yeah, once everything gets removed, this could be fun. Or it'll be a hot mess. Who knows? It's always an adventure. So you just shift the stencil over, stick that right there again, and then take my Caribbean Sky and just finish off that edge like that. And then don't forget, like, once, in fact, I can with this. We can peel off. There we go. Those masks. Leaving each of these areas unscathed. And depending on the amount of ink you apply, you can usually use your mask like over and over and over again, you know? So, like I said, there's a method to the madness. It's starting to come together. So you can kind of see where my brain was going with all of this, you know? And of course, you could use any, like, and Altenew has a bajillion different, like, stencil patterns. So you could use all kinds of stenciling patterns to create the look of, like, a wallpapered wall. You know? Method to the madness. Okay, so let's take this one off. So that one and all its little frames. I'll set him aside for a minute. This guy, how do I want to do this one? Do I want to just... This one, I'm going to, instead of doing it like I did the first one, let's do this one with the same first stencil. And just, again, just shift it over a bit. So we've got that. And then we'll still use the Tide Blue again, the darker shade, just because it is pretty. Tide Blue is another, like, super pretty color. And maybe stick down your stencils properly. Once they start getting covered with ink, they're not as grippy. Stay in your home. And then what I can do, because same with when you apply like masking paper on top, there's ink all on top of the stencil. So let's make Amy's life a little bit easier and just be doubly. There we go. Okay. Better. Record. Oh, I kind of missed what was going on there. Something about a die cut machine. I remember somebody else saying they'd had. That was one of my Patreon members was having some weird issues, and then it just stopped. Like, the only time I had an issue was when I got my very first. It was the Empress Mini, but it was right out of the box. It wouldn't turn on. Didn't matter what I got a dud, and I literally just got it, so I was able to return it, and yeah, I'm not sure I'm not sure how long any of these brands will. Let's do this thinner one right here. Will honor, any sort of warranty, because usually it's like a year max, but I can't speak for like Anna Griffin or any of the brands. I can't speak for that sort of stuff when it comes to like warranty, but that is definitely not normal. Because yeah, I put mine through its paces, and it has held up since I got it. And even my mini, I used it hardcore until I was able to get the full size machine. And yeah. Let's add one last little stripey here. I'm getting like blue ink all over me. All over me. Here we go. Stick that down. Put a little post-it tape. And then drag that along like that. Okay. And then make sure I've got that. And then I can take, in fact, sometimes, there we go. Get that mask off of here. I'm trying to be careful because I literally have ink all over myself. We got that. And then yeah, okay. It's working. Things are working. Things are working. So that, and then last but not least, we have this one. And let's do it like, do I want to do it like that, or do I want to do it right over these? I think that's how I want to do it, just to be whatever. Not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to any of it, honestly. Let's just do it like that. Press that down. Again, everything is like covered in ink. And if you're doing multiple cards like this, I would recommend just wipe the stencils off. Am I doing that? No. Do as I say, not as I do. And maybe wipe your hands off, because I got blue ink all over me. Do they offer an extra warranty? No, I have never seen any. I need to move that up. I have never seen any crafting type machine with extra warranty. But usually I've also not seen hardly ever any issues, or if they are, it's usually like right at the get-go, like it was a dud sort of a thing, and then it just gets like replaced. Okay, there we go. That's lined up. Let's add the Tide Blue to this, like that. Ooh, see, I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. Right there. Don't need to even bother adding it there because the mask is in the center. So there's no point wasting time adding ink to that spot. And then go right down this last little stripey like this. Boop. Okay. Got that. Lovely. And then I can also add maybe one little smidge just cuz to right there. Not sure yet if I'm going to cut these panels down at all. I don't really think I will, but you never know. You never know. Okay. So there's our backgrounds. Like so. I will need to clean off the stencils, but I'll do that later. There's that. I need to clean my hands because I literally have. I need a clean towel. A blue. No. No copyrighted music. They'll demonetize me. They might. Okay, let me just quickly use a little bit of hand sanitizer to get just any of the excess. I don't care if my fingers are stained. That doesn't bother me. I just don't want to have a bunch of ink transfer and smears on my cards. And then we can remove, there we go. Okay. So now we have our backgrounds. We have our frames, and obviously we need something to be framed, which is where these are going to come in handy. So, do I want to do it like, I think I do. I love this. I don't know why. I love this image. I think it's so pretty. I love all of them. They're just different. So, what I need to do to be able to do that is take my stamp wheel, which I hid over here. There we go. Okay. So we take the card front and then our stamps And I'm gonna go like this. Like that. And then if I didn't have this stencil background, like if I was just, I would just stamp it, and I'm totally fine with bits of the images like sticking out past the frame. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I think it looks pretty cool. However, because of the way I'm doing all this, I don't want that to show up in that way. So I'm just going to use my masking tape and just do very, very ratchet little like extra masking, just like that. Like that. Like that. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. Because then... Yep. Yep. Move that over a little bit. So then, we get that. And I can ink him up with Obsidian Pigment Ink. Boop, boop, boop. And then stamp him onto my background. Yep. And then we go like that. And then that will get adhered like that. So again, method to the madness. Yes. Yes. So there's that. And then the next one, let me grab something to wipe. Altenew satin masking tape. I've shown Altenew satin masking tape in a ton of videos. It's nice. I like it. And it's a lower tack tape as well. And yeah, I've got like 2 rolls of that stuff. I've got a backup of that tape. Because I always have to have backups. Backups of everything. Okay. Cleaned off that stump. And then for this one, let's use that. That's really pretty. I could use that. Yeah, let's use this one. They're all really pretty. Like, love. Okay. So this one gets a little more difficult to do, like some masking around, because it's an oval, not, straight edges. However, we're not too worried about perfection though, are we? Perfection's overrated. So we'll get the stamp lined up. And again, I'll just kind of like, just making sure I'm not getting too much crudlies. Do that. Let's see where we're at. Yep, that'll work. Okay. The 2.0 Stampwheel is great because you can remove a side and stamp the inside. Oh yeah, I don't even put that side back on my... I popped that thing off not long after I started using the Stampwheel 2.0. I popped that side off, and I was putting it off and on like in the very beginning, and then I was like, why am I doing, like, I just took it off. Who cares? It doesn't need to be there. I just don't, because yeah, I always stamp like the insides of my cards, and so I can have them laying, which I'll probably do further on. Let's get that a little bit. Perfect. It should be fine. Everything's fine. Let's get off of my card. There we go. So now hopefully you guys are getting the method to my absolute chaos. Oh, it's starting to work. That's the second one. And then wipe this guy off as well, which I'll have to give them a proper cleaning because I do plan on stamping on the insides of the cards, which I didn't want to use in black, but we'll get to it. The insides will be later. That's a problem for later me to figure out. Okay. Got blue ink and black ink. I got everything. I'm covered. So there's smaller little stamps. Yeah, there's 3 smaller stamps in the set for 3 frames. Like, it's already thought out. Love it. You could obviously use the bigger ones. You could also use all sorts of stamps for these. Okay, I'll just lay them out. We got that one. There's that one. And this one. Okay. So, like that. Do that. We could do that. That. Move my little frames. These guys don't need any masking because they're nice and small and they don't go outside the perimeter. So we can just line them up. Like that. And then ink these guys up. Boop, boop, boop. And since these are new stamps, I just rub them with my fingers. Altenew does have those little erasers that work really nicely too. Because when photopolymer stamps are made, it's part of the process. One of the last steps. It's like sometimes they'll have a bit of a coating on them. And you can either use a little eraser to remove it. I just rub it with my fingers as well. And then over time too, just inking them up and using them. But if you find you don't notice it when you're using like pigment inks, like the Obsidian ink. But if you notice, especially on solid images, and it's a new set, and the ink is beading up on the stamp, condition it first. So use one of the little erasers, or just rub it with your fingers. Stamp it off multiple times onto just scrap paper. That works great too. Can you do me a favor? Can you go get this wet and then just squeeze out the water? Because then I can clean off my stamps really well. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's stick all these on here because I got to clean these guys off because I'm probably going to stamp them onto the inside of my card and they're now covered in black ink. So I will deal with him later. Okay. So we got our little backgrounds. We need to glue on our frames. They're so cute. Doop, doop, doop. Adorable. Adorable. Like, yeah. Okay. I'm going to just glue these direct. In the previous video I did using these frames. Oh, Shami, thank you. Are they? I knew they were going to show up while I was live. That's funny. To build dimension in that video with these frames, what I had done was I die cut. I'd use the same brush gold cardstock and then I'd die cut 2 extra frames and emboss them from just heavyweight white cardstock and then glue them together. Because if you wanted to, you could also like trim down the foam tape. And just because you have a fairly narrow margin. And again, am I going to do that? Not very often. I did think about it for these cards, but again, I'm lazy. Let's be honest. Ooh, let's move that over a little bit. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I am not going to do that with these cards. So I just place glue just along like the inner edge, basically. And then just to be safe, let's put a couple magnets on it. Yep, to hold it down. Because everything wants to be ornery when I'm live. That's just a given. So, boop. And there we go. Okay. So we got that one glued. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Just add glue right along the inside. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Like that. And then straighten him so I can see what I'm doing. Yes. Yes. There we go. Lovely. Lovely. And we'll just move him over there. Put some magnets on him just to hold everything down for a minute. Let that glue set. And then the last one. Now you guys can see. Because that first bit, everything looked like a hot mess with the masking paper and and all of it. Sometimes you need to trust the process, okay? You just do. Here we go. Love it. Oh, man. I would like some pretty wallpapered walls with like pretty frames. And that one. And again, my masking was like crooked, but that's fine because I can just kind of adhere the frame and straighten it out a little bit. And that should be okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So did all that. And then our last little frame here. Like so. Will go right there. Yes. They're so cute. Okay. So we has three card fronts so far. Here's the link for the foam tape bundle. Add it to my cart. Didn't have to add it. Yeah, depending the link I have for the foam tape bundle through the like Altenew provides that for me. It has the code like embedded with it. I know it's kind of crazy, but if it doesn't, but those watching on replay, that code is only active till February 17th. So if it's after that, apologies. I'll probably have a new one, of something else. But yeah, it's all magic. Probably black magic, let's be honest. Okay. So of course we're gonna add splatter to all this. Can't not have splatter. So I don't need that. What I do need, do not knock that over. Do not knock that over. Ah, I need a bigger boat, y'all. I need a bigger boat. Okay. So we're gonna do two types of splatter because y'all know. Oh, should I do gold splatter though? Obviously. Oh, I didn't link to that. I'll get to it before the unpaid intern can. It's gonna be. What are you typing in? probably the wrong thing.
Probably.
I'm going to use... You don't even... Because you don't even know what I'm going to use. The metallic watercolor 14 pen set. Let's add gold splatter. I'm just going to do... Do I want to add white as well? Can we do 3? You know, let's do 3 types of splatter. Because Amy's crazy. And she can do what she wants. It's my channel. Let's just do it. So we'll do black, white, and gold. You know? Let's do the bright. Ooh, I do love that bright gold. Let's add some water to that. I'll let that sit because it needs to soften for a little bit. Ooh. And be very careful because this pan is metal and I have magnets on my work surface. So try not to break everything. Try not to break everything. So I have that. And then of course my black and white gouache. And then I'm gonna do a race. I know, right? Sometimes he gets it quick. He knows a lot of the products, but yeah. If I'd actually said what I was going to use, he would have been able to get it quickly. But I just said gold splatter. That could be anything. Anyway, white gouache, my go-to of many years now. I've used up almost this entire tube, y'all. For those, like I remember, it was what, 3 years ago now? 2.5, whenever it was, when Altenew released these. I ordered them sight unseen. And I talked about this. I was expecting to get like a standard, like it says on the, with the listing, it says 50 mil, but in my head, I thought it said 15 because this is a standard like tube. Like this is a 15 mil, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is basically like a standard 15 mil tube that most tube watercolors, gouache, etc., you know, come in. And that's what I was expecting. And then I got my order and I got these monster. I was like, and it's funny because at the time, I know I posted like a photo of them or something and I was like, I've got like multiple lifetimes now. Wee! And you know, I've used up about 3/4 of the white already, obviously. And yeah, we're getting there. I'm using them up. And then the black, I've used up about half. So it's fun. It's fun. What can we say? Okay. Got my brush. My little fan brush. Let's add some, gotta add some water to it because gouache is quite thick. And I thin it down. I always just call it like a nice splatterable consistency, which I know isn't very helpful. But when you start playing around with splatter, you get a feel for it. You just start to know it's like, oh, that's too thick because it won't really come off your brush or you'll get blobs or what have you. And if you add too much water, it can just be more transparent, whatever. But like what I got now, a little too thick. But yeah, you do get a feel for it after a while. So we got that, and that seems pretty good. Mix that up. Got a blob at the base of my brush. There we go. There we go. Okay. So and another option is a person could add, if you like splatter but you don't like the idea of having it on the frame, you could splatter before you adhere the frames. I don't care. You know, I like the texture. I like it. I like it. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. It's okay. There we go. So there's one. Next. The white especially, I like to go in heavy-handed, especially with these, because I want it to create all that texture on the background, just because we can. So there's that one. And then this one. There we go. Yep. Okay. So we got that. I'm going to clean off my brush, which I've got, like I said, a blob of gouache stuck to the base of it. Let's just clean that out. Gouache is another one of those things you should use if you have it. I went to use mine after having it. Yes, gouache is something that I started noticing with these tubes because I left them sitting for a good chunk of time because I was using other, like playing with other things. And I have opened these many, like hundreds of times. Who knows how many times since I got them. Because again, the more air, even though it's a small opening, the more air that gets in there. And if you leave it to sit, if I was to leave these to sit for like a year now, after they've been opened so many times, I would expect them to be rock hard. You could sort of still use it for things like splatter. Those that are familiar with gouache and use it to like paint with would understand that once gouache kind of dries out, or if you put it on a palette and you want to go use it again later, you can like reactivate it with water, but the consistency changes. And those that actually like to paint with gouache, because gouache, the consistency you're aiming for usually is more of like almost like toothpaste, because gouache is kind of in between acrylic paint and watercolor. It's got the opacity of acrylic paint, but it's water reactive like watercolor. So that's the kind of consistency you're aiming for. And once it's dried, the amount of water you have to add to like reconstitute it, it just doesn't work as well for painting within reason. But you could, if it's like you have a dried out tube, you could still like add some water to it and like do some abstract backgrounds. You know, take a flat wide brush and paints backgrounds, use it for splatter, things like that. But yes, you would have to like slice open the tube basically with like a craft knife to like get at it. But because it is water reactive, you could. It is one of those products. You do. I recommend you use it. If you, it's yeah, you know, it's fun. It's fun. Um, do. But yes, they will. Especially if it's one that you've opened over and like they could probably sit in a sealed tube that's never been opened for goodness knows how long. Um, but I don't expect my tubes to last. If I was to just let them sit, I wouldn't expect them to last literally like a year, even maybe significantly less than that, because they've been opened a bajillion times. I did actually take mine, and this applies to like almost any tube bait. Not too long ago, I took the caps off, and I actually had to scrape all around the threading on both, and like I scraped out all the dried bits because I couldn't even get the caps on. So that was also why I was having issues not too long ago. Is there was so much buildup because I use it so much that the caps weren't properly closing and sealing everything off. So I took a few minutes and just used like a craft pick and some hot water and like scraped and cleaned everything off so that these could actually open and close properly. It was a little bit of maintenance for my splatter and was worth it because it was getting to be ridiculous. Okay, so we did that. The gold is still sitting. We'll do that. We'll add a bit of black, which definitely freaks people out a little bit, but it's fun. We're only going to use a little bit of black, not a ton. I lied. Maybe a little bit more. Like, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, where's my... There's that. Doop, doop, doop. I missed something. There was something about pattern paper. These key frames work great with finer ooh, yeah, you totally ooh. Yeah. You could use, instead of stamping images, you could have like pretty pattern, if there's like different pattern papers, especially a lot of the Tim Holtz papers, you guys know what I mean. But yeah, if you have like certain pattern papers that you really love, you could like have the little focal point of those. You could also do sort of the same like the stenciling, but use pattern paper and then have the frames on top. I would just cut, little squares or whatever of stamping, whatever you want. You could use little pictures, whatever you want. So many options, y'all. I need more hours in the day. And again, need to add more water. 1, 2. Oh, that might have been a little too much. Oh no, it's good. It's good. So yeah, the black gouache. I've talked about this. It is heavily pigmented and it will stain. Just, be aware of that. It will stain. So when I'm done working with it, I clean off my palette, my brush, etc. And I just try to be very aware of that, like not get my elbow in it, because the black will stain. Like my little plastic palette that I use a lot, it is stained from this black gouache. Okay, so we got a little bit of black splatter, just a very demure, very mindful amount. And then add some to this. Did they bring the cat?
I don't think they did.
They didn't?
No.
I probably would have known because we would have heard everyone losing their mind that the cat is here. Because I was going to say, I was like, if they brought you, you should bring them in here. And then I can show everyone my little derp grand kitty.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, add a little bit more because I can and I can't stop myself because I have issues. Anyway, there we go. Yes, very demure, very mindful. Little frames be cute to put kids' school pics in. Yes, exactly. Be so cute. So cute. Like, yeah, I would totally. Y'all can just, very kindly, very politely email Altenew and be like, hey, we would love some more like frame dies, embossing folders, etc. I'd be here for it. There's so many things there's so many things you can do with them. Like, that's always why I'm flying by the seat of my pants, because as I'm like mentally prepping and like coming up with ideas, and then it's just one leads into another, and then I had like 20,000 other ideas and not enough time. And then I'm like, we need to do one thing, okay? Like, I can't, go live all day, every day. That's just not realistic. Okay, I don't need, oh no, I can use this palette. So, I've talked about this before. I gotta be careful because this was stuck to a magnet. When it comes to, let me move this for a second. When it comes to metallic watercolors, I have no space left. This is ridiculous because I need this. Stay. Metallic watercolors. Doesn't matter the brand. They're all very similar in that the way they're made, the pigment, the binder, like when you take like just a wet brush, and that one's got water in it that I showed, but the rest of these are dry. If you take like a wet brush and you just go like this, and it's like, there's nothing. There's nothing there. Whereas if this was just a standard watercolor palette with my wet brush, I could go like this in the well and you would get color and you could immediately paint. With metallics, the binder in them and the metallic pigments, everything, it needs to be worked up. You got to warm it up a little. You got to talk nicely to it. So before I start all that splatter, I put some water in here. So it's been sitting to soak in. You either let it sit for a while or you just take the time to work it up. So that water's been sitting in here. And then it's really nice and soft. I'm going to be kind of careful because I put kind of a lot of water in here. But you just work it up and it's beautiful and it's shimmery. And we're good to go. So you just want to work it up, get that pigment moving around. And then you can either just take it like this. A lot of times that's what I do. I just dip my brush, start splattering. But I'll just put some on here. And it's so good. It's so good. I love gold. Doesn't it? We need to watch the Austin Powers movies. It's been so many years. It's been so many. Oh, I love it. I love gold. I love gold so much. So, yeah. And then this, I will just leave this sitting open and it will, the water will evaporate. All the prettiness will stay, and it'll dry. So I just set it somewhere. I'm not going to knock it over, which right this moment is nowhere. Oh, here we go. There. So that will sit and dry. And it'll be good to go. And then the other thing to remember, with any type of, specific type of, metallic watercolors, but even if you're using, say, a mica stain, something that is liquid that has a shimmery or pigment component to it, metallic-y component or a sparkle or whatever, after you've worked it up, whether it's still in its pan or on a palette, gravity. And gravity is always doing its thing. It doesn't take a break. So you can't really tell on camera, but some of that shimmer is it's starting to settle because gravity's pulling it down. So you consistently need to keep working it up. You don't want to just dip your brush at the very top or just doop. You want to keep working out to pick up all the pretty bits. So do that. And we'll add the gold to this. Ooh, I'm gonna need more than I'd put on there. That's a first. Oh yeah, we need way more gold. More gold. Need more gold. I'm okay with that. You can't go wrong with gold. So yeah, this is a really pretty palette, and you get like so many pretty colors. There's a few colors, and ooh, I could have used the blue. Oh, nope, we're using the gold. Stop it, Amy. The blue would have looked really pretty on this too, okay? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. There we go. There we go. Squeeze it right out of that brush. Just there we go. There we go. Stick that in there. Let's get a... Oh yeah, I want a big old splotch. Love it. Love it. Okay. There's gold in that there card. Yes. Yes, there is. And it's so beautiful. Do I go completely overboard with the splatter? Heck yeah. Is it super fun? Uh-huh. I love it. It's also why that's why I'm I ain't getting too worried about, when I was stenciling and getting smudges here and there and it just things not being perfect. It's who cares? We're going to add splatter, It just don't matter. Put a little extra on there just for funsies. There we go. And then clean out my brushes. I've literally got gold absolutely everywhere. There we go. There we go. Yep, that one should be good. This one looks fine. So now we've got those. gold. Spaceballs. That's funny. Okay. Oop, don't need that no more. That could go there. Those over there. So, and my lighting is like gone weird again. Whatever. So we have those. And then that all needs to, especially the big splotchies, those are going to need to dry. I might trim these down a bit. We'll see. We'll see. What I need to do is clean off my palette. So again, I don't get my elbow in it. There we go. Get that out of my way. I need card bases. We need card bases. Oh, I had card bases. We're good. Okay, I got card bases. I got a mess. I need to clean off. I need to clean off my stamps. Apparently they're doing a second Spaceballs movie. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Like, honestly, the movie machine nowadays, like, we're getting the second, the third, however many sequels. Like, what did we just watch the other night? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. You know, and then they did the third one 40 years later, however long. It was 30 years later at least. Yeah. Wasn't it? Something like that? Good Lord. You know, it's what they're doing. But yeah. I mean, especially if they're kind of silly movies like that, I'm here for it. I think it's funny. So yeah, now I'm cleaning these off a bit better because I'm going to stamp them with a lighter ink. I don't want to stamp them with black on the insides of the cards. So cleaning off all of that Obsidian Pigment Ink. There we go. Much, much better. A Goonies 2?
Oh, that'll never happen.
I don't know if they could even, like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I love the Goonies. I love the Goonies, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they could, but if someone wrote it properly, maybe. I don't know, man. They're supposed to be bringing Rick Moranis at a retirement for it. I would assume you're talking about Spaceballs. Yeah, like, yeah, I'm here for Rick Moranis. Oh, that's another one. We need to watch it with the kids. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, everyone's gonna die when it's sad when the ant dies.
Oh, but it's such a good movie. I loved that movie as a kid. Okay, do I want to use... Yeah, I'm going to use the Caribbean Sky. Okay, so all my stamps are clean. Let's get back. You guys, I'm getting like so distracted. I was like, ooh. Sometimes it's a mistake to make a sequel. I know, some things are just better left alone. You know? But my thing is, it's like, if people want to do it, like, whatever. But if like the proper time and effort gets put into something, but there are that's what, like, with everything, so many, like, it's just a cash grab type of thing. Everything's done cheap. It's garbage, and it's like, and it doesn't do well. Like, no shocker there. And those ones, it's like, meh, we pass and don't watch. But yeah, my thing is, if the time and effort's put in, you know, the original people sign back on, yada yada yada, and it's like, sometimes the sequels or the second version 30 years later is great. But my other thing is that makes me annoyed with it all is like, all that time and effort and money could be put into like original stories, original work, you know. But
or, you know, bringing something else to life. There's so many untold stories.
That's what I mean. Like, there's so many good untold stories. So many. You know, that it's like, man, if they could have a budget and a production crew and all the things, like, there are so many stories about powerful women that have changed the world, that people have no clue that, you know, the reason we live the lives we live and have the freedoms we have is actually, when you get right down to it, was because of a woman. Could be telling so many great stories about that. Okay. Inside of my card. This is why I take off the piece. My brain stopped. Of the stamp wheel is so I can stamp the insides of my cards. Because y'all know I like to finish them. So this is an A2 card base. The score lines, you can't really see it, but it's right there. And he'll keep distracting me. That's hilarious. If Spaceball 2 isn't called The Search for More Money, I will be outraged.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. That too, like when they're self-aware enough. You know, some sequels, like, they're just outright break the fourth wall, and they're like, they outright, like, they did it for the paycheck. I was like, yeah, valid. Is that what they said they were going to call? Oh, that makes even more sense. Okay, then they better call it that then, because and I bet they would, really, because that movie was just absolutely ridiculous. You know, it was supposed to be. Okay, so I got my card base. Inside of the card, let's do like this. So there's our first little floral here. I'm gonna have it kind of come off the edge of the card, and then we're gonna ink him up and stamp him with the Caribbean sky. So the lighter blue ink. I'm more of a drama girl. So, oh, I know. I like lots of genres of movies. I do like stupid comedy, like just dumb movies. You know, Anchorman, Spaceballs, any of those types of ones. For me, those are the ones where I can shut my brain off completely. Don't need to think. Don't need to be. And I was just like pure enjoyment, just pure dumb silliness, and it's like I'm just It's like entertain me. And then when you start getting into like the drama and the other things and, you know, historical stuff, all that, love it too. It just depends on my mood. But yeah. Okay. And since this is the inside of the card, I am not concerned about it stamping perfectly. This is good. It'll smooth out a bit. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Okay. As usual, I have no space left. So that's one. And then we got a second card base. Like that. And that'll be this guy. Dodgeball is an awesome. Oh, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. We quote that one regularly.
Yeah, that's what I say right before I throw the kids a wrench at the kids.
Right before you throw a wrench at the kids. Builds character. Yeah. We're being sarcastic, folks.
We are.
Don't send Child Protective Services after us. Chris has taught them the 5 Ds. Is it the 5 Ds? The 5 Ds of dodgeball when when it comes to that point in gym class when they're learning, like they're like, we were playing dodgeball, and Chris is like, did you learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball? And then he teaches it to them and they're like, what?
It's a very essential knowledge.
Yeah, very essential. We haven't let them watch the movie yet. They'll get their chance and then it'll all make sense. But yeah. Dip or dive, dip, duck. No, dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. 5 Ds of dodgeball. Yeah. Good times, man. Stupidest movie ever. Absolutely love it. Arr. Yep. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Oh, that's another one we need to put on the list. I don't think I even have that on there. I haven't watched that movie in years. Love it. So stupid. So good. Yep. Yep. That's a good one. That's a classic. Okay, So there's inside card number 2. And then for the third one with the little images, I think with that one, I was gonna use, let me think for half a second here. I think I was gonna do that. That one I was gonna do that and that. So if I did that sentiment, I'm sorry, love you. Hugs. I was gonna do, so I did that sentiment, like planning on the fly here. Oh, I'm gonna stick that back there. If I do that, I could use that right there, and then go like that. That'll work. That'll do. Yeah, that'll work. So line that one up like that, and then It's a steal on the tape. I know, it's such a good deal. I'll remind everybody after I've got the cards made, but it is linked in the description below the video, and I'm pretty sure the unpaid intern has been linking to it in the chat. But yes, it is a very good deal on that foam tape. Okay. No, why am I putting that away? I need that for the sentiments, obviously. Goodness. I'm a professional, y'all. I am so professional. Okay. Got that. And then for sentiments, just using the sentiments from the set. Gotta like straighten, get that lined up like that. Yep. And then the sentiments I'm gonna stamp with the Obsidian ink. Christy, that's hilarious. Her 5Ds are delegate, defer, deflect, decline, and delete. She calls it dodge mail. Yep. Yep. Those are the good 5Ds of an admin. Yes. Yes. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. So there's one card inside. Let's put it on inside all 3 of them. Everyone deserves to be told they're beautiful. I just got to clean it off each time. So we'll do that. And then I guess I could have left it in the same spot. Y'all, I'm like distracted by dodgeball. There we go. There we go. Okay. And yes. Oop. Didn't clean it off very well, but thankfully it's in the same spot. There will be 3 winners today because I made 3 cards. Yep. So 3 winners will be chosen, and I'll mail out these cards. Doop, doop, doop. There's one more. And then last but not least of the card bases, I was like, where's my ink pad? There we go. Doop, doop, doop. Done. Lovely. Okay. So we got that. Put that stamp back with the packaging. I managed to lose a stamp at some point. Oh, there it is. Okay. So all the insides are stamped. Oh, stop being up. y'all. There we go. Okay. So, insides of cards are complete, like that. And then what I'm going to do for all of them is, I think I'm going to trim down these card base, or the card fronts, just a smidge. Like that, because they were originally A2 sized. But I am going, so I've got that. We'll get to the sentiments for the front in a minute. I haven't adhered anything yet. I'm going to trim all of my card fronts down just a smidge. So everything is now dry. So I can take off about 1/8 of an inch off each side, so that these will then be 4 by, take off that top bit, 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah. Because then I can use some of the foam tape to pop these up. So, again, method to all of the madness. This also works sometimes too when, if I've like adhered a focal point, you know, off kilter a bit, what have you, it's like, oh, I'll just trim down the card front a bit to like even things out. But for the most part, this all looks decent. That's also why I love splatter, because it distracts the eye and you just don't notice those things as much. Quarter, there we go. Okay, so we got that. And then foam tape. What was the fourth one on the offer? I gotta look. There's my series of codes, specifically which 4, because I'm missing one. Okay, you get this one. Oh, okay, it's this bundle. Okay, this one, the 1/4 inch and the 1/2 inch. That's what it is. It's these two. Okay, that's what it is. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, so this is the foam tape bundle that I've got the deal for. And these are used, obviously. You'll get new rolls, which will be bigger because I use these foam tapes a lot. So you get my favorite. That's the 1 inch wide, 1/16 of an inch thick foam tape. Love. So that one, a roll of the 1/4 inch wide, 1/16 of an inch thickness. Super handy. And then you get the 2 rolls of the 1/8 of an inch. So you get it's 1/2 an inch wide and an 1/8 of an inch thick. So if you want to build dimension, build dimension. Or this is good for like shakers. Same with this guy, right? Yes. 1/4 of an inch wide, 1/8 of an inch thick. So you get all 4 rolls. It's linked below from now until the 17th. With my code AmyLive. Oh, here we go. Let me do it proper. Let me do it like a real professional. There you go. You get 45% off of this bundle. Seriously, it's amazing. It's amazing. Love it. If I didn't already have them, I would. In fact, now I'm kind of tempted. Kind of tempted to order myself another bundle because I use these a lot. A lot. Okay, let's go back to especially this one. I already have a backup of this one because I use this stuff a lot. It's convenient, man. So I'm going to pop these panels up with this foam tape. It'll give me dimension. So there we go. And yes. Yes. Love. So these will pop all of that, all of these backgrounds up just nicely. Like that. And then I know this 1-inch foam tape. That's why I have a backup, because I have been going through it because I use it so much. It's just convenient, really. There we go, like that. Because yeah, 3 strips gets me the back of a standard card front. And then it's good to go. So stick that on there. And then, what are they priced normally? Well, almost double what the deal is, because they're almost half price with my code. I'm not sure. Someone in the chat can confirm, because what I see, because it's set to my like Canadian, so it's in Canadian dollars. So it's not the same. So, okay, this one goes, I got a, there. Want to match up the same, what I stamped on the inside with the frame, so that everything's matchy-matchy. It's not like the end of the world if it wasn't, but, you know. So we'll do that. And then we'll pop that on there. Like so. So we got that one. And then that one. And that one. And this one is that card base. Like so. And then we get hand centered. And I rarely do it, but you can, especially if you really struggle with lining things up, you know, and all of that, is you can take your foam tape and before you press it down, you could run liquid glue, you know, because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room. I don't do it with panels like this, but sometimes if it's something else that's a little more like maybe a sentiment, like something where it's a little more finicky and it's, you know, trying to line up, that's when I will put glue. But usually I'm just like, I just let go and just do it. But I hover. You can't really tell, but I'm hovering over, because I'm holding it like this. So I'm kind of hovering it over my card, getting it centered, making sure there's clearance, and like that, and then press. Because once it's pressed down, it ain't going nowhere. Like, the adhesive on this stuff is strong. If I tried to pull these off now, it would shred the cardstock, because it ain't going nowhere. So I got those. And then for my sentiments, where did the pack? There's the packaging. For my sentiments, I used this Stylish Greetings die set, and it came out a few months ago. This was actually part of the Cozy Comfort Retreat that I taught at in 2024. And then at some point last year, they released this as a little standalone set. So, loves it. And I'm going to put that one. So I die cut the words from Desert Night cardstock. And then the outline I die cut from Caribbean Sky cardstock. So I have that one. That one. I don't want to do the thankful. On that one. do the hugs on this one, like that. And then we could use the foam tape again. Why not? That's why I have foam tape. Okay, so can add a little bits, not a whole lot of foam tape to these. So put one there, and then like that. Yes, so I'll pop that up, give it a little bit more lift. Like that. Yes. Actually, I kind of want to take just a smidge off the bottom of that. There we go. That's how I want it to be. That works. That just works. Okay. Anyway, watch the Naked Gun remake. It's on our list. It's on our list. There we go. So then we're right here. This one, like so. Doop, doop, doop. And then this one, we'll do like that. So we'll start putting a little bit of foam tape on the back of that one. That. Like that. A little piece right there. Just like so. Okay. And then that piece can go right there. There we go. And then, so weird to see Liam Neeson not be in a serious role. I know, right? Just from the previews when they were rolling out all of that for that movie, I got a good laugh out of it. Okay, so there's that one, and then this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna superimpose that one like right down the center, right down the center, like that. Yep, got that one. And then last, but certainly not least, there we go. There we go. Love it. And then do I want to add? Yeah, I kind of do. I want to add some bling. So I'm going to use some Shimmering Pool sequins. I'd link to both these ones and the gold ones, but I think these will work. They're a little more awkward, but I think they'll work. And I haven't put these into a container yet. So this is how they come. And you get 6 sizes. Like, so it is a lifetime supply. And especially if you like making shaker cards. Yeah. And if anyone watching is like, if you have or are a fan of the Altenew sequins, stay tuned to the March release when it comes to storage. That's all I'm saying. I don't have permission to like divulge things, so that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say anything else. That size, do this size. Let's do this size. Okay. Get off of there. There we go. Okay. So, while I am adding the little bits of bling, the unpaid intern can pick some winners. And this time he's got to pick 3. 3 winners. I'll put one there. I'll stick one there. And there. And there. So start with that. And then the little guy there. Stick one over there. Trying to be very careful not to like flip things over, you know. There we go. And then we'll take some little ones. Who'd have thunk with blues, you know? Who'd have thunk? Okay. Those. Get. There you go. Got that one and that one. I'll stick another one like that. That'll work. One there. Some of these little tiny ones are, get off my finger. There you go. There you go. One there. One there. And for good measure, let's put one more right there-ish. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Can stick one like that. Yep. Just kind of trail them along. And then with cupped, let me move this over here. Okay, with cupped sequins, I'm just going to carefully go like this. With cupped sequins like this, what I've found is like Altenew's little tweezers versus like the perfect picker or an embellishment one, and like the wax pickup tools, like those work. But I have just found that when it comes to, especially because these little tiny ones, I find that the perfect picker, like it'll pick it up, no problem. But then it doesn't want to release it because, like, especially the little tiny ones, they are just, and because they're cupped, they just almost like suction to the wax end of the tool. Which, where did mine go? To this, you know, like it works. It works great. I just find that I prefer using the little tweezers because then I can just pick them up just like that, and then put down a little tiny bit of glue, and then just rest it in there. And then I'll press it down in a second. I just want to get these adhered first. Put down a little dollop of glue. And then there you go. There we go. Get over here. That guy turned over. There we go. Yeah, let's put him right there. Oop, nope. This one's wanting to be ornery. Get down. There you go. And then once I've got them in place, I just press down like that so that they're actually pressed into the glue. And then I just let the glue dry and they're good to go. There we go. So there's one. And then, plus you get glue. Yes, that too. Because these ones, they do have the hole in the center, which some people are not a fan of. I kind of got to a point where I was just like, ew, no. But now, I don't know. I like them. They're cute. The colors are pretty. And the hole doesn't bother me. I've seen some people will add an extra little embellishment, either like, you know, a little halfback pearl or a little dab of like a Nouveau drop or whatever to cover the hole in the sequin. But I don't care. But yes, that's another reason why with the wax tip, because when you press it, the glue gobs up and then the glue gets on the wax tip and then it's annoying. So I just prefer using the little tweezers. I find it just faster. Let's turn this over. I got way too much going on my desk now. A little dab that guy like that. And then that one, like that. Get them in there. And then, yeah, I just go burp and just press them. Press them down like that. Like that. Shoop. That one. That one. There we go. And then last, but certainly not least, is this guy. That, and that one. And yeah, I will never not love all my reverse tweezers that I have like 15 pairs of, because we've talked about that. If they don't have a friend, they grow legs and walk away. But these guys, huge fan. I bought these a year ago. Altenew came out with these, I think, years ago. But I bought them. I bought this pair like a year ago, something, just on a whim, because I was like, I wonder. And I love them. I love them for this, and then I use it too. I use these ones when I'm picking up like lots of little like die cuts and pieces that I've watercolored, what have you, and I don't want to get ink all over me. These have been handy little things. And I'm gonna have to get a second pair because it's only a matter of time before I lose this pair. Because that's the thing with the good little tools. They just like to disappear, and it's really annoying. But then once I get a second set of anything, the reverse tweezers, my little stir sticks, whatever they are, never lose them again. Okay, there we go. 3 cards. With stenciling and stamping and embossing and splatter and sequins and die cuts and foam tape and the insides. So yeah, card number 1, card number 2, like that, and then card number 3. Was not planning on doing 3 cards today, but hey, it just worked. It just worked. These were fun. There you go. Have you found your watercolor paper yet? Honestly, technically no, but the more I think about it, I would not be surprised if I used it all up and just in my brain was like, no, I've still lost it. There's a chance. There is a chance that I just, because I've cleaned up so many things and moved things around and I've never come across my little pack of watercolor paper, and yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so there are the 3 cards. Like so. If I put them like that, and then if I go like this. Yes. Yes. Okay. Who are the winners?
The 3 winners are Kristen in Iowa.
Kristen in Iowa.
Dana in Michigan.
Shannon from West Virginia. And
Shannon in West Virginia.
Yeah. Haven't mailed out the last however many live stream winners for the last like month, roughly. Yeah. Maybe this week. As always, I make no promises when it comes to when I get them mailed out. They do get mailed out. It just sometimes takes me a while to get it all done, but these will get mailed out to the winners. And yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with me. And one last little reminder of one's an exclusive deal and then one's a deal that is time sensitive. So my exclusive deal for today's live is that foam tape deal. So yeah, that is linked below and that goes until the 17th. So we've got the link, the code, you get 45% off that foam tape bundle. And then the other deal that ends this evening is the early bird discount for the Secret Garden retreat, which is a paid class, like 2 days of classes basically with a retreat kit. All the info is also that is linked in the description box below, and this code ends tonight, and then it's full price until if and when it sells out. Usually this one, the Secret Garden, well, all their retreats sell out. So those are the codes going on. for now. I gotta update my sales page. Oh, so many things. Hopefully I'll get to that today because there's some other deals going on. But there was that. And yeah, thank you to the unpaid intern for helping.
Yes, I have to come do
Yeah,
a
we
wave.
need the disembodied hand wave. Love it. And then yeah, I will do the photos and the social medias and all the things for these a little bit later today. And then just stay tuned because I have, as always, like I've got a bunch of content coming. I have that live that I'm doing with Altenew on Friday. It's on the Altenew YouTube channel. I'm not sure yet if I'll be restreaming it to mine at the same time. So it's already ready to go on the Altenew YouTube channel. So I'm going live with them on Friday at noon Eastern. Yes. And that's in conjunction with the Secret Garden Retreat because I'm one of the teachers at it. And then I might be doing a bonus live this week. I'm not sure yet. I was going to do 1 or 2 last week and life got away from me as usual. But I am going to do a bonus live hopefully this week. So just stay tuned. I'll try and give everyone a heads up about that one. And then I've got a bunch of content, of course, coming. I have cards and videos and all the fun things. And yeah, social medias for this will come later, photos, etc. I'll update my links. There was just the watercolor palette that I needed to add to it. And I think that's it. So I'm going to go and get some other things done. And we'll be getting the Simon March kit. Yeah, we're going to check. They've been getting to me later. So I'll be working with that kit when it gets here. I'm excited. It looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, I get them later than a lot of the other designers. It takes longer to get to me. It is what it is. But I've already seen sneak peeks and all the things, and I was just like, that looks fun. So yeah, all kinds of fun things. Tons of content coming, as always. And I have a mess to clean up, y'all. This is a mess. We'll get her done. So I appreciate you all for hanging out with me. This was fun. This random idea I had in my head worked. So yay. Love that. Love when the chaos translates onto finished cards. So I appreciate you all, and I will see you all very soon in another video. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!